Hello?
Hey, how are you doing, Jamie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Hello, everybody. We are going to talk about Erik. Erik, you're gonna start telling us a little bit about you. So it's all about Erik. Are you
Well,
ready to rock and roll, Erik?
Eric's not going to mind that at all.
Of course. He's so humble.
Very
All right,
humble.
let me look at my list here. First of all, Erik, this is so important to me as a mom. Are you happy, sweetie?
The answer is yes, but then of course he went into, you mean right now or like a moment ago? We mean happy in general.
Yes.
Eric says more so, and he goes, no offense, Mom, because you were a great mom and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
more so now than living my life.
I know you were miserable. What's making you happy now?
He said it's the ease of life. I don't have to
Yeah.
struggle.
That's so good. Hard for me though, but I'm glad you're happy. Now, what makes you the happiest? It's because you're free and you have all these new abilities?
Oh, um, I guess he's saying hi to the dog.
Oh my God, yeah, she's right behind me.
He went into like this
Stella.
baby talk thingy moment. I was like, what are you doing? That's not right.
Oh
Uh,
no.
he goes, okay, yeah, sorry. To get back to the topic, he says, what makes him happier? If he's comparing it to his human life, the first thing he would compare would be he's hitting his head. He goes, just kind of having a clear head, not
Yeah.
having to have so many internal battles and biting at myself inside.
Mm.
And the second thing he would compare is that he has the freedom for speed, for movement, just to travel, to go. There's nothing containing me, telling me I can't just jump over to Italy or somewhere where I want to go for a moment or two and then get back to, he says, my work. And
And you
he
can
goes,
travel to, excuse me, go ahead.
yeah, he goes, those are the two big comparisons. And he says also what makes it easier is I get to see the people that I love for really who they are, kind of from the inside out,
Mm-hmm.
rather than the human sense, you get to know them from the outside in. You see everything external, what they look like, what they want to present, and then you kind of got to dig your way in. This is hand
Mm-hmm.
gesture. To get closer to somebody. He says that's not like that here. It's kind of reverse. You get them from the inside out.
That's true.
And he says, I like that because I like, kind of paused, I enjoy being close to people. I like getting to know them more than just, like an acquaintance, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And you do that with the blog members too, beside your family, do you?
He's shaking his head. Yes.
Okay. Now tell us about your typical day, just very briefly.
My typical day after I shave my manly facial hair, um, he goes, okay. I'm going to describe a typical day like how you would understand,
Mm-hmm.
such as I got a morning, I got an afternoon, and I got an evening.
But you really don't because there's no time there.
He goes, yeah, I don't. He goes, but if I want to experience that shit, I can just lower myself and get into that dimensional vibe. What is that? Well, into that lower dimension that you live in, and then I can hang out and watch the sunrise, and I can watch that. Like, I can have all that too, but
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just resonating where I am because I don't have a physical body, then no, I don't really have that sunrise and that sunset. But in my traditional day, I enjoy hanging out with my Earth family. And he goes, that does not mean you've been demoted. He goes, that's just to clarify. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, I guess
my
not.
mom, my dad, my brother, my sisters. He goes, I like to see them in the morning. He said, so I kind of cruise cruise through their lives and their homes and hang out with them and see them. He says, after I after I do that, then I go and see, he calls them my spirit family.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like I've swallowed a bug.
Oh, no. As long as it's not a roach. Those are gross.
My throat tickles so bad. Holy cow. You're not making it easy, Eric. He'll tease you while you're coughing.
Oh.
God, he is so witty.
He is.
He amazes me.
Yes, for you.
I know, it feels like someone put a pen in my throat.
Oh, that's horrible.
Like I'm watering. So he says he ends up with a spirit family, and he says, these are my, we can call them teachers, we can call them, gurus, but spirits, friends, people that I admire, that I want to go check in with and see if there's something that I can, add to my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's really not that, like, true sense of discovery or that true sense of, I'm learning something new. And he does change his voice like that. He'll make it sound like very important that I'm learning something new, because the knowledge is all available. It's just whether you're going to go pick it up or not. Like it's at the grocery store. You're going to go get the damn milk or not. So I check in with them to kind of see that. And then my favorite after doing that is, did you say perusing? Perusing the blog and seeing what action, what's going on, who's touching base, looking at my family, my Erik family. Oh, that's funny. You have your Earth family, your Spirit family, and your Erik family.
Mm-hmm.
I see. You're okay.
And that's the blog members?
Yes, that's the blog members. His Erik family.
They love your visits, Erik, and your pranks.
Oh, he says I enjoy it so much.
They get jealous. People get jealous when they don't get pranked by you, so you have to cover the bases.
He said, I do.
Mm-hmm.
He says, this is when, too bad you can't do this on Earth.
Yeah.
Divide myself and then get into everybody's homes and just say hi to them, leave them something, confuse the fuck out of them, and maybe take some keys, leave a fart.
Oh, Erik. I know, he's done that.
It's so funny. And just continue to prank them. And he said, so I have a portion of my attention going to that. And then at any time that I'm hearing someone use my name or ask for my presence, I do like to tend to that throughout my day. Mm-hmm. But then I like to take a moment and kind of do what I think is fun. And he goes, not like none of this has been fun. Trust me, it really is. But like the, riding bikes or climbing or going into other dimensional planes and, seeing new things. He was just explaining when he's using the term new, it is, it's kind of like how humans learn on Earth. They get a hold of something that is unknown to them, and now it's known. I don't know why he's going down this rabbit hole, but something new to him would be going into another dimensional plane and learning, or, sorry, not using the word learning, accepting information from other races, other multi-dimensional beings. That's exciting for him. He likes that.
And then what?
So if we're closing the day, I had a drink before I do another cough episode. If we're closing the day, then I'm going to end up back at my family, my Earth family, my mom, my dad. seeing my family, checking in on them. And then as nighttime comes for you, that's when he goes, that's when I go to the other side of the world.
Oh, yeah, to visit the other blog members. That's right.
Yes. And he goes, and so I kind of see what they're doing, see where I can help.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, it's my tail feathers. Tail feathers ruffle when I hear blog members talking about their life and their hardships and, how can I help and how they see similarities. And I want to show them that there are similarities and that there are other options to look at. He said, so I get excited about that. He goes, so I don't really sleep and I don't have a need to eat. But, if my friends or family are eating something that I really like, then I like to check in and kind of enjoy that with them. And I enjoy that with them by snuggling up to their energy. And I get into their energy field, then I can have those same vibrational experiences as the taste and the chewing feeling of it and everything like that.
So you mosey on up to a cheeseburger, huh?
He said,
awesome. But you don't gain weight. It's low calorie the way you do it.
He goes, only you would worry about something like that.
I know. All right, anything else before we go on to the next question?
No. Ding.
Okay. Tell me about your best friend or the person, the spirit you spend the most time with.
He goes, okay, so there'd be probably like best friend, spend a lot of time with, guru, spend a lot of time with, and then my girl that I spend a lot of time with.
Jillian, yes.
His hand starts out like this, but we don't have to go there.
I know you don't. You get so embarrassed.
He goes, that's my private life.
Okay, we won't go into that then. You don't want millions of viewers to learn about your love life.
He goes, I know it's ridiculous. He goes, but I do have a girlfriend and I do like her bunches and she does help me and we enjoy the same things. Ding. Ding is the sound that his mom asks for like when he's done with a topic. Ding. So he just hits the bell and moves on. His best friend, and he calls a guru, but it's kind of like a spiritual counselor, somebody that he confides in a lot to check on, his work and how he helps people is how he explains it. Okay, so I spend probably equal time. He goes, but a lot of my essence, my being, if I look at the pie chart of who I'm spending time with, is, Erik family. There's, we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people that I see. The bulk of my essence is really dealing with that. And then spiritually, I would say, I don't know what he's saying right now. It's a bit of a mumble. He's talking about a gentleman, a friend, a guy that he met in spirit. Is about his age. He doesn't, I don't know why. I keep asking for the name, but he doesn't want to share the name.
Okay. It's not important.
Okay, but it is a guy. They pass for similar circumstances and around the same time, actually. This one a few years behind Erik.
Okay.
And they tend to get along really well, and they do things together. And he said, so that's who I spend time with in spirit.
Okay. All right. Now, how do you split yourself? I mean, you take care of so many blog members. How do you split yourself infinitely like that? Uh-oh.
Visually, he gives the image of,
oh no,
of taking a very difficult bowel movement. I'll say it like that. There you go. Why do you do this?
I think he just wants to embarrass you in front of all the viewers.
He goes, so it kind of, he's hoping I'll imitate it. I'm not going to imitate you right now. Mm-mm. So he makes the grunting sounds and everything, and he said, so that's about how I do it. I'm kidding. He said, when you can think in your head, when you're doing that multi-thinking, and you're like, oh, I need to go do the dishes, and so you're driving in the car, and you're like, oh, when I get home, I need to do the dishes, and then when I'm doing the dishes, I need to make sure that I take the roast out so it deflaws or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So you're having multi-layers of thought and action. Okay, it's as similar as that. When I'm hearing myself, it's almost, no, that didn't make sense. When you're hearing yourself, that didn't make sense. When I hear someone on earth call my name, or they're reading the blog, or they want some kind of interaction with me, I can instantly give them my attention. And how that would feel is like thought attention to a human being. Like I give it a thought. And then imagine that that thought can kind of sustain itself without you going, behave like this and do like this, thought. No, it just goes because it's your thought, it belongs to you, but it has a tiny life of its own. And then when it's done, it just falls back into your head.
Okay.
So I think that'd be the best way to describe it for people to
Okay.
understand what it's like.
Oh,
And just
no.
to clarify, he says it doesn't come out of his ass.
Oh, well, that's good. We need that clarification. Well, what's your reputation like over there?
Yeah, what is your reputation
Yeah,
like?
really. We know it here.
Yeah, that is such a cool question. Oh, come on. He goes, I am known and loved by all.
I'm sure you are.
I was like, and? Takes a deep breath. He goes, well, I'm known to be a prankster. I'm known to... He goes, I'm known to, well, maybe not be trusted so much, but very good to know where I am at all times. And
Okay.
he says, people smile when I'm around. He goes, they know I'm coming in off the top. They
Spirits, right?
know,
Okay.
they know I'm going to get them to laugh. They know I'm going to hug them. They know this is going to happen.
No.
So when they see me, it's almost now like this expectation. And he says, I love it a lot. I'm in.
Good. Okay. So somebody's at the door, but we'll ignore them.
He goes,
Why did you?
that's my mom.
Oh,
Ignore
Jesus.
him.
Why did you decide to make the decision to do? Why did you make the decision to do what you're doing now, your work?
It should come with words, Eric.
Yes, please.
All about you. He said,
Aww.
you started it. You started it. You started it.
So basically, creating the blog is how you decided to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cross that one off my list. What was your spiritual mission while you're on Earth?
My spiritual mission. He says it should have been to survive.
Yeah.
He said it's not as cool as my spiritual mission now, because it's I say it that way because on Earth my mission was really internal. It was learning struggle and balance and acceptance of myself. But here in the afterlife, it's not the me. And he says it's really about, the bigness, the grandness, how I can be that person that I always wanted to be on Earth and kind of open myself up to everyone.
Okay. Very good. I guess that's a ding.
Ding.
Now, what do you think? Now, what was helping me or others from the afterlife part of your original life plan? Or did you just make that decision after you passed?
It was discussed as an opportunity, but it wasn't set in a destiny, path. It wasn't this massive contract between us. It was based on how you were going to view your healing after losing a son. What's funny?
There's nothing funny about that.
yeah, started laughing. He goes, she didn't lose me.
I
He goes,
know.
he's,
Physically.
it's just ludicrous how people on earth just think that when you die, you've lost someone. And he's going on and on. He goes, okay, so it was going to be based on that, and that if you were going to take on the challenge and get loud about it, I was going to hop on board.
Okay. Now, what was I to learn from that contract? And what is my role in all of this? First, start out with the first one. What was I to learn from this contract?
It takes two to tango. No. What were you to learn from?
The
Oh,
spiritual contract.
he said of having me leave early.
Yeah.
He says that was about loss. That was about separation and not having control. And he says, and that fed along a lot of the smaller contracts that you had growing up about not having the ability to have self-control. And then after I left, it was supposed to give you every opportunity to have self-control. So learning self-trust and confidence and all those things, that's been pushing at your door and readily available.
Okay.
Ding.
Now, tell us about your other roles. Do you have any other roles besides pranking us and teaching us and helping us? For example, do you help spirits communicate with their loved ones on Earth? Do you help suicidal teenagers? Help people cross over? Heal people? Give it a rundown.
He goes, at first I was going to say, need there be more? But the whole teaching, the whole teaching part, I would put that under that. I would say when people reach out to me and they're talking about being suicidal, like, I want to be there for them. Like, I'm not ashamed.
Doorbell again. I'm just going to ignore it.
He's doing some dance. It's bad. He says, I want to be there for them. I want to talk to them about why they see it as an option. So I do that work, but I consider that teaching, like an opening. And I do help people communicate to their loved ones, and not in the way you might think, because my favorite thing is helping the dead communicate to the living. And all you guys are thinking about is having the living communicate to the dead.
That's right. Some of them have trouble, I guess, huh?
Yes. Yeah. They're like, oh, they get up next to, their loved one on earth who's still living. And they're like, holy shit. Like, I tried to do the same thing and they didn't hear anything. They did nothing. And I go, dude, it's like this. So you do tutorials. He gives tutorials on how to communicate to the living.
Communication 101.
He says maybe I should author a book for the dead.
That's good. They read over there, I guess, huh?
He says, not really. He goes, it's only the people who just recently passed over and they're still thinking with human thoughts. They're not looking at all of a sudden what they thought was impossible is completely possible. Yeah. And those are the answers that should be used. So I just kind of help them out, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, Mom. I also help heal. He's saying, I'm better at healing with emotional pain and mental confusion. But the physical healing, like from disease and things like that, I tend to pass the buck to others. That
Passing
really
the buck.
Yeah.
Do you help dead blog members who lose somebody? Do you help orient them, show them the ropes when they pass over?
If they need me to.
Oh,
sometimes they already have people who've passed before them that know what's up. And of course, if that's the case, I'm going to let family help family.
Oh, sure.
But sometimes there's those who die and then just decide not to cross over. And that's what we end up calling the ghosts.
Okay.
I imitated that perfectly. That's why it made me laugh. The ghosts. So, anyways, I like interceding. Is that a word?
Interceding, yeah.
It is?
Mm-hmm. That's a big word for a little boy. Ludicrous, interceding. Well.
Woohoo. um, the spirits who decide not to cross over right away, the ones that are lost and curious. The ones who don't cross over and are not curious, we got to leave them alone until they ask for help.
Yeah.
So I do like doing that.
Okay. All right. What are your aspirations and plans for the future? I know there's no future there, but in terms of Earth time.
He just turned, threw his legs over the armchair, pretend to straighten his tie. My aspirations for the future, Mother, are, and then he pushes his hair back. He has no baseball cap on today.
Oh.
And no tie either. He's just around. So we're looking on Earth terms. You know, that future that you feel like you haven't been a part of yet, that it's just totally going to be a surprise when it arrives, right?
Right.
Okay, good. Your answer, Erik. My future aspirations is to help science and spirituality converge. Takes his fingers and start publication, start giving examples, start helping science identify our subtle energy. You know, that they think is such a fucking mystery, but it's not. I'll push for that because I think if people understand it more in a scientific view, it becomes part of a belief system. And then, bam, I would guess, he's making some noise, 43%, doing his hands, 43% of sad, grief, you know, separation, anxieties, things like that, gone.
Oh, that
Because
would be
now
nice.
you know, right? Now you know that there's not like this real separation. It's
Yeah.
totally real.
Do you nudge these scientists, or what will you do? How will you bridge that gap?
By dancing naked in front of them.
Oh, that should do it.
That should do it. That should change the world, shouldn't it?
Yeah, dancing naked changes the world.
He's going to get their attention. Yeah, nudge. He goes, Mom, we all nudge in our own ways. Don't judge.
Are you talking? Oh, okay, the naked dancing. No, really, how do you nudge them?
He's giving me pictures and I'm asking him for words. He said, so there's already groups of spirits. What's fun is those that used to be scientists and that are interested in this path normally incarnate in similar threads. So they have knowledge and information from future, from past, from now, right? When we get together in these groups of spirits and start working with those scientists, we're bringing this information about. So it's not just one nudging, it is groups of us affecting the environment to change the outcome of what the scientists are trying to equate.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And he goes,
Yeah.
apparently I'm just the only fool who dances naked in front of them.
Oh no, do you really do that?
No.
All right, let me see. Why did you have such a difficult life? What was the purpose of that?
To have my own inner struggle.
Okay. And what good did that do? I mean, it just made you miserable.
Yeah, but think about it. If we constantly lived in home, in heaven, we wouldn't have the chance to experience difficult. We wouldn't have the chance to experience that hardship, that imaginary separation, that divide. That's part of the beauty that Earth provides, is this false identity that there are rights and wrongs and punishments.
Yeah.
And rewards. And I needed that to understand the depth of myself and especially my own strength. And I needed a family who would not get in my way by telling me who I was.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a family to stand around me and support who I was, you know, and I wouldn't even call it in a helping fashion.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a team fashion. When you think of help, it's almost like, well, I know better and I know your answer. Here's the help.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, for everybody watching, my family didn't do that. They stood beside me and experienced it as me. They had a level of compassion. And he said for me, it breached walls that I think no one else could have.
Mm-hmm.
The therapist couldn't, the doctors couldn't, the medication couldn't. And this was the kind of support that I was looking for, and I got it. He said, Mom, when we talk about this again and again and we're able to look at it each time, a little bit more removed, because time has creeped in between for you.
Mm-hmm.
I see my life as more complete than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it as having missing pieces. I see it as being whole. Because I hope you're doing that too.
Now, did it help you develop skills that you're using, now from that side?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Like what? What kind of skills?
He goes, for those who are bipolar, understand, you get a lot of time inside of your head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you're schizophrenic, but you have several different voices.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not voices of other people. It's not like being a medium per se, but you're just more sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And these voices would have these incredible ideas and concepts about life and how people really felt and why.
Mm-hmm.
But you never could experience them. That was the missing piece with bipolar.
Yeah.
It wouldn't give you enough time to take what you could do in your head and incorporate them. It would break it and swing you into another direction. So now with the bulk of those thoughts and having, pretty much being forced to observe more than to interact, I have a different kind of, because I consider it a knowledge base. And I'm using that to help people on Earth, because I would consider myself having more of a wicked brain. A wicked brain.
Okay.
You don't mean wicked good, you mean like, I consider myself having more of a messed up brain
Mm-hmm.
when I was living, messed up
Yeah.
inner thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm helping people on Earth, most of the time they're like, oh shit, I can't believe I'm thinking like this, and they
Yeah.
scare themselves, and they think they're fucked up because they have those thoughts, and I'm there going, you're normal.
Yeah.
You're so normal, it's just like nobody fucking wants to talk about it. So that gave me more insight and more power, understanding, knowledge, connection to help those on Earth.
So why couldn't you live until you were 90 and then pass on and do the same thing?
Then I would have missed the shift.
What do you mean? What shift? Shift from what to what?
I have a more impactful position where I am, Mom.
Okay.
If I would have stayed alive, I would have battled my bipolar. I would have struggled. I would not have understood relationships in the way that I do now. I wouldn't have had a bigger voice. I would have stayed small.
Yeah.
And with this and this timing, I'm able to have a big voice exactly when it's needed on the earth, and right before we step into this incredible shift where science and spirituality marries.
That makes sense. Now, can you tell us about another life that influenced the one that you had as Erik Medhus? Okay.
I'm going to wait for him to straighten up for a second.
What's he doing?
He's already shown me 3 images, and they are highly inappropriate, and I know it's not real.
Okay.
Yeah. He's, just for an example, light example, he was showing me that he had a life as an I can't even say the word. As an extremity that's not an arm or a leg. Can we keep it like that?
Can you do that?
No, you can't. But he was just teasing like that
Oh,
immediately.
oh, oh.
It belonged on a monkey. Just,
An appendage like what I'm thinking about here with typical
yes,
ear. Oh, gee.
yes.
Okay. Coming back as a monkey
That
penis.
was totally nervous drinking. You said it. You said it.
I'm a doctor. I could say things like this. But it doesn't bother me at all. But you get embarrassed.
So he did a few of those really quick, just to like, ha ha ha. He has a handful, three, a few, maybe three that he's seeing really fit and support the life he had now. He's showing me one. No images, words.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. She's not talking.
Oh, yeah, it was a big pause, but you're
Okay, showing me one
back.
like he was a little boy. So I'm seeing him. He's giving me the hands off.
I know.
Hmm.
Eric, did you do
And
that?
with my eyes, his parents are gone. I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're off in the country, and he was putting care of other people. And this was during the war, World War
Mm-hmm.
II.
Mm-hmm.
And these people actually they kidnapped him. They were actually leaving to save themselves, but had to take him. He was little, he was maybe 3. So they took him with them. They couldn't return to the family was
Mm-hmm.
gone, and so therefore he was waiting for his first family. And did not return. So just see that man. Do you
It
want to hang
says
upside
it's a
on this part?
poor connection. Mm. Oh, it says poor. I've got no, 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 no. We'll keep trying because it's going to be one YouTube. I don't know how to splice them together. So you have full Wi-Fi?
Thanks for watching. Technical difficulties. Do I what? Are you looking?
Yeah. Okay, well we can reconnect. We can reconnect and have a part 2. Yeah, you look all fuzzy. Okay, well we will end off here and we'll begin again in part 2. It's going to be very short, but yeah. All right, now you guys, if you are interested.